Clint Eastwood turned down the biggest role his mentor ever offered him, twice. No argument, no explanation, just a quiet, definitive no. And the way that story ends might be the most unexpected thing you'll hear today. In 1963, Eastwood was a working TV actor, recognizable enough, but nobody's idea of a movie star. Then came an offer that, by every logical measure, he should have refused. Fly to Spain, shoot a cheap western cobbled together with Italian, German, and Spanish money, work for a flat $15,000 total, and report to a director whose name most Americans couldn't even pronounce. His own agent called it a bad career move. Eastwood boarded the plane anyway. What he found on that set was unlike anything Hollywood had taught him. Sergio Leone directed mostly through gestures and a translator, because the two men shared almost no common language. So Eastwood stopped waiting for instructions and started trusting his instincts. He built the character from the inside out. The stillness, the economy of expression, the way silence could carry more weight than a monologue. Leone watched through the lens and kept everything that worked. Two men who couldn't hold a conversation ended up inventing a completely new kind of cinema together, one built almost entirely on images. That first film cost around $200,000 and detonated across Europe. By the third film in their collaboration, the budget had ballooned to over $1 million, and something had quietly shifted. Leone had caught the scale bug in a serious way. Real explosives, rebuilt bridges, entire staged battles, sprawling across the Spanish countryside. Eastwood watched carefully and drew a conclusion. Leone apparently never fully shared. The films had stopped being about the character at the center and had become monuments to the director's ambition. He was being used as an expensive prop in someone else's vision. So he stopped. He founded his own production company, named, in a characteristically dry move, after the Spanish phrase his agent had used to warn him off that original gamble. Mal paso, bad step, a permanent, wordless reminder of what doubt looks like when it turns out to be wrong. When Leone later mounted what he described as a deliberate farewell to the spaghetti western, he reportedly designed the opening scene as a symbolic send-off. 3 gunmen from his earlier trilogy, gunned down together on screen to signal the end of an era. According to Leone's own account, Eastwood was asked to be one of them, and declined. Leone then reportedly offered him the film's lead role. Eastwood declined that too. It's worth noting that Eastwood's recollection of these events doesn't fully align with Leone's version. The story has been disputed, and both men carried different memories of what actually happened. What's not in dispute is what came next. The two men never worked together again. More than 2 decades passed in silence. Then Leone died in 1989, and Eastwood did something nobody could have predicted. When his masterpiece Unforgiven rolled its closing credits in 1992, a film that quietly dismantled the very myth Leone had built around him, 4 words appeared on screen, dedicated to Sergio and Don. Leone and Don Siegel, the 2 directors Eastwood credited most for shaping his craft. No press statement, no interview. Just 4 words at the end of his greatest film, addressed to a man who could no longer read them. That's the whole story. A mentor who built a legend, a student who outgrew him, and a thank you that arrived 20 years too late for a reply. If this one stayed with you, hit like and subscribe. There are plenty more stories like this one waiting.